What is the worst investment a person can make and why? Any MLM scheme. It ain't gonna work. A boat is the answer. My coworker took out a loan of $1,000 and bought lottery tickets thinking he can make back more. He won $50. Big box timeshares. Because of the huge upfront costs simply for access to properties and features, the monthly costs, and the difficulty cost of selling them, it is always 100% less risky and cheaper over the long term to shop discount offers and pay for your vacations out of pocket, or buy vacation homes at your favorite spots that you rent out when you're not there. Investing in a friend's business venture, especially when it ruins the friendship. A luxury car. Parts are hella expensive and they're extremely complicated to work on. Our Wall Street bets would say stock options are both the best and worst investment you may ever make. Many times with their positions you'll either lose it all or quintuple your investment in a few days. Lottery tickets. There are people that throw hundreds of dollars they can't afford into that hole hoping that it might pay off. And I guess it might, but practically everything else on this list is more likely to somehow make you money than that is. An older, high-maintenance house in a declining area that has little hope for gentrification. That gold I just gave, never getting it back. F me and the silvers. That's some terrible life decisions. Any used European luxury car brand, like Porsche or Mercedes. A wise man once told me there is nothing more expensive than a cheap Porsche. Any investment that involves family or close friends, odds are it will end up destroying your relationship. I'm flashing back to when a tow truck driver negged me for having a used car while he was towing me. He reasoned the value drops as soon as you drive it off the lot. Unlike new cars apparently. Banana stand, because there is always money in the banana stand, until there isn't. A new car. Cars are not investments. Buy slightly used, maintain it well, and it will last a long time. People tend to forget what an asset is versus an liability. Assets pay you back. There's a radio ad that says a timeshare is the worst investment you'll ever make because apparently it's the only thing you won't know how much it'll cost you. The lottery. It's specifically designed to take your money. Once I heard someone say, I think it's rigged. I mean, yeah, it's rigged. Sports teams. I've been involved with the scene for the past 10 years or so. Organizations constantly appear and disappear for good reason. It's incredibly hard to actually profit as an organization, and investors are always pumping money in without seeing any returns, trying to bet on the future of sports being like professional sports leagues, which it might be, but it's been pretty slow to get there. Only the top-tier teams make any money, and even a handful of them have major financial issues. Jewelry, especially mass-produced jewelry you'd get at the mall. It's not worth more than the scrap value of the metal and gemstones it's made of. Pop culture BS. Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch Dolls, Funko Pops. In a decade, no one will care about these pop culture items and they will have no value. If you are talking about real investments, anything a person tries to sell you as low to no risk, but high returns, is probably a fraud. Risk is strongly correlated to reward. You can't have one without the other no matter what fancy language they are using for reasons why. Investing time and energy in a toxic relationship. Children. BE in a liberal arts degree assuming you don't want to be a teacher. My BE in English from UCSB didn't do a effing thing for me in the real world at all. Employers seriously just don't care. My best friend is now a registered nurse and she makes $90K a year. I should have done nursing. holding onto your pumpkin stock, expecting it to peak around November 1st. Loaning money to friends. Just don't. Getting a Nissan with CVT, say goodbye to your savings and get used to ride the bus. Investing in a musical. You have about a 1/200 chance of getting your money back, let alone making any profit whatsoever. Getting a 30-year ARM instead of a 15-year fixed because you can get more house for your money. I got a 15-year fixed mortgage and had the house paid off in 9 years, now saving $200 a month and living comfortably. Around the same time, a good friend of mine got a 30-year adjustable at max budget, a much nicer house than mine, and lost the house 4 years later. He's living with his parents now, trying to work his way out of bankruptcy. Really a shame. Education in a field that isn't employable, doesn't interest you, or simply is on the ASTI level in all the schools you can get into. If you're going to be a security guy or a supermarket employee, why study? Bonus points if you're American and your education isn't free. I'm saying this not because it is technically the worst investment, it isn't. It's just that it's a mistake made by so many, and it's a very expensive one. My parents keep telling me an apartment is the worst investment ever. Horses. You can pay 00K for the next Olympic prospect, and then something could happen to the horse before it even reaches that level of skill. The same for racehorses. The odds are lower than 1 in 10 on a horse that'll make it big. Head on over to our Wall Street Bets, and all the advice they give you on investing will likely be the worst advice possible. The awards given in this thread. A boat. Never seen so many frustrated people as when I was a boat guy. New car for sure. Game currency, microtransactions, etc. Modcloth. Because been there, done that. Reddit awards. MLMs. Bitcoin. Way to volatile. Giving their money to the church. The retail cannabis market in Canada. Boxes of fallen empires. A bad partner. Time with the wrong person. Beanie Babies. Payday loans. They are a bane on society. Spending time with me. Good rule of thumb is anything that loses its value, a boat, a car, and a 4-year English degree. You know the basics. Cryptocurrency. Unless you got into it 10 years ago. Children for sure. A monorail. Incompatible with everything. Whole life insurance policies. Complete scam used to line the pockets of greedy insurance salesmen. Do not trust any princes from Nigeria. Loaning a friend money for bills they can't afford. You will never get it back and most likely lose a friend. So many liabilities listed here. A new phone every time one comes out. Renting a phone is also very detrimental to your small bank balance. Timeshare. In me, because if there's something I don't disappoint, F is disappointing. Cryptocurrency right before Christmas 2017. F my ass in life. A business, if you don't know how to run one. Especially if you're planning on using the business as your primary income source, or any building with a lot of issues that you don't have money to fix. Not the worst so much as a common investment mistake. Avoid going in on any asset, company stock, cryptocurrency, house, that you don't understand where the value comes from. When a bubble happens, .com boom, Bitcoin explosion, housing bubble. It's largely because people buy into the asset only because it's increasing in value. The value of the asset comes from the fact that other idiots are buying it up too, which isn't sustainable. The only money being made is directly at the expense of money being lost elsewhere, with few big winners and many losers. Do a little research to find out why the thing you're buying has value, and how that value is expected to increase. You don't need to be an expert, but you should know something about it. A blockbuster franchise. Too soon? That art that was just taping a banana to a wall. If it floats, flies or FS, it's cheaper to rent than to own. I lent someone 000 in college after they got jacked to start their retail back up. Was promised 250 back. Received 2 payments of 0 and 1 payment of 8. Then, they stole my laptop. Few days later, called me up and offered to get me this laptop. They found a good deal on to call the debt even. My roommate stole my laptop back and I am bitter, F you honey, but we got even. TL:TR don't lend money to people that are going to use for a drug business. Sims 4 stuff packs. The Kenyan shilling. Investing time and energy on people that do not care about you. When it comes to money, I guess everyone has their hobbies, but I myself would never invest in the lottery or risky stuff like that. Hentai. Your time with somebody who doesn't appreciate it. Unfortunately, you usually don't realize that until it is too late. Follow the rule of the 3 Fs. If it flies, floats, or fornicates, you're better off renting. Bad relationships. Lemon mines. A house with the wrong partner. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to hear more of the best posts.